WrestleMania 25 was a phenomenal show in the history of the WWE that featured some huge moments that had some huge consequences on the entire company on the year to follow. The power of AI is getting a little freaky here these days, but I'm going to use AI to rewrite the history books on the Smackdown end and rebook the aftermath of WrestleMania 25. John Cena kicks off Smackdown celebrating his WrestleMania victory, only to be interrupted by Chris Jericho, who claims Cena's win was a fluke and that Smackdown is in need of a change. R-Truth is featured in singles competition against JTG. R-Truth is able to take home the victory. Christian approaches John Cena backstage, expressing his desire for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. In the next match, Finlay taking on Matt Hardy, where Matt Hardy is able to take home the victory. After the match, Matt Hardy brags about his WrestleMania victory over his brother, and that we will not be seeing Jeff Hardy on SmackDown any longer. In the first SmackDown main event following WrestleMania 25, John Cena takes on Umaga in one-on-one non-title competition. John Cena handedly takes care of business, but after the match is confronted by Chris Jericho. The following week's SmackDown opens up with Finlay taking on R-Truth, where R-Truth picks up another victory. Edge is seen speaking with Dolph Ziggler backstage, and it seems that there is a team forming to take down John Cena. Tag team action featuring Mike Knox and Umaga taking on the team of John Morrison and The Miz. We would see John Morrison and The Miz secure a victory. Mr. Kennedy being interviewed by Todd Grisham now that he is back on the blue brand. Main event, champions versus contenders in a tag team contest. John Cena and MVP, the United States champion, taking on respective contenders Christian and Shelton Benjamin. The champions take home the victory to end out the night. Mr. Kennedy in his first match back on SmackDown going up against Matt Hardy. Unfortunately for Matt Hardy, this one does not go his way as Mr. Kennedy picks up a victory on his return. Tag team action featuring Crime Time up next, going up against the team of Finlay and R-Truth. Crime Time is able to take care of business in this one. Christian sits down with the announce team to sit ringside to catch the next match, our main event, Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler. Chris Jericho handles business, but not without confronting Christian, with Jericho stating he deserves to be in the title match. John Cena opens up the show by addressing Christian and Jericho, vowing to overcome the odds at the pay-per-view. However, Edge and Dolph Ziggler attack Cena, reminding him of the size of the target on his back. Shelton Benjamin takes on Evan Bourne, the #1 contender to the United States Championship, takes care of business up against the High Flyer, and there's a tense confrontation afterwards. However, MVP gets a hand up over Benjamin after hitting him with the championship belt. Edge and Dolph Ziggler are interviewed backstage, where the two claim that they will be the ones to destroy John Cena. Our next match features Mr. Kennedy taking on Finlay in one-on-one competition, and Mr. Kennedy gets the job done. More tag team action where we see Edge and Dolph Ziggler going up against Crime Time. Edge and Dolph Ziggler get a convincing victory. Our main event has got John Cena at ringside. It's Christian going one-on-one against Chris Jericho. With some major pay-per-view implications, Chris Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho, causing Christian to submit, which will officially insert Chris Jericho into the Backlash title match. Backlash opens up with the team of Edge and Dolph Ziggler taking on the current tag team champions, Carlito and Primo. After a tight contest, Edge and Dolph Ziggler are able to walk away with the tag team championships. Shelton Benjamin challenging MVP for the United States Championship. MVP is able to get a quick roll-up, surprising Shelton Benjamin with the quick upset. Mr. Kennedy, Matt Hardy, steel cage match. Matt Hardy unhappy with Mr. Kennedy, gonna be even more unhappy after this one. Main event, World Heavyweight Championship matchup. John Cena defending his World Heavyweight title up against Chris Jericho and Christian in a triple threat match. The odds are against John Cena, but come on, we know it's Super Cena, and he's gonna pull it out, delivering signature moves to both Christian and Chris Jericho, wrapping up the victory and defending the championship. Post Backlash, we've got JTG going one-on-one with a frustrated Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's able to get some of those frustrations out in this match as he's looking to rebound after his loss at the pay-per-view. The new tag team champions are feeling hot here on Smackdown. And we've got R-Truth and Finlay taking on Miz and Morrison, although they come up short. Former Smackdown superstar CM Punk announces his full transition to the Raw roster unless he decides to cash in his Money in the Bank on the World Heavyweight Championship. And if you want to see what goes down on the Raw side of things, get this video up to 400 likes and we'll have ChatGPT rebook Raw's end after WrestleMania 25. MVP talks about his successful title defense and issues an open challenge for the United States Championship that is immediately answered by Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy comes up short as MVP defends his title. Christian calls for John Cena, seeking a rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. Big Show announces backstage that he is still the main threat to John Cena and he's gonna prove it. And he does so in his next match against Finlay. The Miz and John Morrison confront Rey Mysterio looking to recruit him, but they're immediately shot down before their matchup against the tag team champions Edge and Dolph Ziggler. This one is for the titles, but the champions come out strong. Mr. Kennedy announces his intentions to come after the United States Championship. In the main event, we've got a #1 contendership match. Christian, Edge, Big Show, and Chris Jericho. In a chaotic bout, Christian's able to overcome and secure his championship rematch. John Cena and Christian are seen opening up the show speaking. However, they're interrupted by Chris Jericho, who vows that they have not seen the last of him. Edge and Dolph Ziggler issue an open challenge for the tag team championships next week. Crime time and more tag team action taken on the team of Kane and Umaga. However, the two behemoths cannot get along, and they break down into a brawl. MVP is set to spectate a triple threat #1 contendership match for MVP's United States Championship between Mr. Kennedy, R-Truth, and Matt Hardy. Mr. Kennedy comes in clutch and comes out with the victory, and Mr. Kennedy secures his championship contention. Rey Mysterio in his first match back on Smackdown after losing the Intercontinental Championship on Raw competes against The Miz and builds himself some momentum. Tag Team Championship Open Challenge is met by Raw's Jesse and Festus. The champions retain, but they are confronted by Miz and Morrison afterwards, challenging them at Judgment Day. Main event time, John Cena and Christian versus Mr. Kennedy and MVP. Pay-per-view opponents, partners for the night. Cena and Christian pick up the victory with clear tensions ahead of their championship match. Judgment Day opens up for the Tag Team Championship between Miz and Morrison taking on Edge and Dolph Ziggler. The Miz and Morrison, in quite the upset, unseat the Tag Team Champions. Kane taking on Umaga, one-on-one. It was an extremely physical and hard-hitting match, but Kane is able to come out on top. United States Championship match, Mr. Kennedy taking on MVP for the gold, and MVP is not able to defend the title. We've got a new champion. Chris Jericho in one-on-one action up against Big Show. Big Show showing his dominance, pinning Chris Jericho. One-on-one World Heavyweight Championship match. Christian the challenger versus the champion John Cena. It was back and forth, both men clearly determined to become champion, but Christian able to get out on top, but it wasn't enough to put away John Cena. John Cena coming back, locking Christian in the STFU, forcing Christian to submit, securing John Cena's championship. John Cena opens the show by addressing the Smackdown audience, expressing his desire for fresh competition. Big Show interrupts, claiming he deserves his match. New champions Miz and Morrison showing off their gold, competing in non-title competition, defeating Finlay and R-Truth. Former tag team champion Dolph Ziggler going one-on-one with Chris Jericho. It's a big opportunity against a big name, but Chris Jericho comes out on top. He then grabs the mic, talks about his recent setbacks, and that he will bounce back. In our main event, we've got the new United States champion putting up an open challenge for his title, and that open challenge was answered by none other than Christian. It was an exciting match, but it was cut short after Christian is attacked by Matt Hardy to end the evening. Edge confronts Dolph Ziggler about their recent issues. Dolph claims he's on his way to become a star and that they're still a dominant team, but Edge expresses his concern with Ziggler's attitude. Matt Hardy picks up a victory over R-Truth in one-on-one competition and then claims that Christian will not be coming back to SmackDown for some time. Carlito and Primo come to SmackDown to face former tag champions. Edge and Dolph Ziggler get the victory, but not without having clear issues between the two. Big Show makes his intention to challenge John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship known. Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho, this is a vital match to determine proper footing for the World Heavyweight Championship contention. Rey Mysterio hits a big 619 and gets an even bigger victory. John Cena addresses his potential challengers Big Show and Rey Mysterio, only to be interrupted by Chris Jericho again. Crime Time coming up short against the odd tag team of Evan Bourne and Kane. Rey Mysterio going one-on-one against the giant Big Show. Rey's got a lot of heart, but he wasn't able to overcome Big Show here. The Miz and John Morrison defending their tag team championships against Edge and Dolph Ziggler in their rematch. Dolph Ziggler inadvertently hit Edge from behind, costing them their chance at the titles. John Cena and Big Show have a final face-off before their World Heavyweight Championship match at the pay-per-view. Crime Time is set to host Raw's Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes ahead of their championship match at Night of Champions. Shelton Benjamin picks up a victory over Finlay and announces his intention to get back in the title picture. Matt Hardy in singles competition going up against Edge, and Matt Hardy gets the victory after Dolph Ziggler distracts Edge. John Cena versus MVP. Cena forces MVP to submit, but Big Show confronts Cena after the match, demands a match with MVP, defeats MVP faster than Cena to make a statement. In a battle of brand supremacy, SmackDown's John Morrison and The Miz are unable to successfully defend their titles up against Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase from Raw. United States Championship match, Shelton Benjamin up against Mr. Kennedy. It was an exciting back and forth match with some big moments, but Mr. Kennedy is able to successfully defend his title. Main event time, World Heavyweight Championship, Big Show versus John Cena. John Cena overcomes the odds yet again, defending his championship against the Giant. I'll give you a little taste of what's going on the Raw end. We've got Batista challenging Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton delivers a devastating punt to the Animal, defending his title. However, CM Punk cashing in his Money in the Bank contract, taking advantage of a weakened Randy Orton, and securing the WWE title. The following SmackDown, MVP interrupts an interview with Mr. Kennedy, declaring his intention to reclaim the United States Championship. John Cena cuts a promo stating it doesn't matter who his next challenger is. Main event of SmackDown, singles competition between Kane and Edge. The rated R superstar hits an execution and picks up the victory. Dolph Ziggler bragging about his recent singles success, claiming he's on the path to singles glory. And this clearly does not sit well with Edge. John Morrison and The Miz in their rematch for the tag team championships against Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes. They are unsuccessful. John Cena is attacked by Big Show backstage, escalating the tension even further. Christian returns to get a measure of revenge on Matt Hardy following a match against Evan Bourne. Shad Gaspard challenges Mr. Kennedy for the United States Championship, and Mr. Kennedy takes care of business and defends the title successfully. Chris Jericho announces that it's only a matter of time before he's champion again. Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler in the main event. Rey Mysterio is victorious, and Edge found it hilarious. And Dolph did not like that. Next SmackDown opens up with Christian and Matt Hardy seen fighting throughout the arena. The Great Khali going one-on-one with Edge by special request of Dolph Ziggler. A clear setup where Ziggler officially betrays Edge. Mr. Kennedy comes ringside to watch a #1 contendership match for the United States title. MVP, Rey Mysterio, Shelton Benjamin, and Umaga all compete, but it's MVP who comes out victorious. Chris Jericho defeats Big Show to insert himself back in the World Heavyweight title picture, but John Cena is very dismissive of Jericho's presence. John Cena is confronted by Big Show, stating that he is not afraid of the big man, and that any attacks are not going to throw him off his game. Dolph Ziggler and Matt Hardy took on Edge and Christian in a tag team contest. Ziggler and Matt Hardy would lose by disqualification after they would go beyond the ref's 5 count. The go-home show before the Great American Bash would end in serious tension. United States Championship match, MVP challenging Mr. Kennedy looking to reclaim the title, and he is not able to do so. Edge versus Dolph Ziggler. The student turned on the teacher, and the student overcame the odds. With some underhanded tactics, was able to defeat Edge in a surprising victory. Matt Hardy, Christian, last man standing match. This was brutal, they were all over the place. Matt Hardy had the upper hand after an early attack, but Christian's able to turn things around and withstand the 10 count to win the match. Main event, Big Show, Chris Jericho, and John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship. In a surprising turn of events, Big Show and Chris Jericho have teamed up to take down John Cena, and Chris Jericho is the new World Heavyweight Champion, ending the Great American Bash. The following Smackdown opens up with Chris Jericho and Big Show praising his strategic alliance. After his pay-per-view victory, Dolph Ziggler's got his chance at the United States title against Mr. Kennedy. With clear momentum, Dolph Ziggler's on a hot streak, but Edge comes out and distracts him, allowing Mr. Kennedy to successfully retain. Jericho and Big Show cut another promo, declaring their dominance. Main event action, Rey Mysterio and John Cena in a tag team match versus Big Show and Chris Jericho. John Cena and Rey Mysterio are unable to overcome as Jericho and Big Show pick up the victory. Edge demands a Summerslam match against Ziggler, seeking retribution. Kane, Rey Mysterio, Matt Hardy, and John Morrison compete in a fatal 4-way match. Rey Mysterio walks away the victor and the new contender for Mr. Kennedy's title. Chris Jericho was taunting John Cena in an interview, boasting about his reign as new champion. Christian challenging the Big Show. Unfortunately, Christian comes up short, but John Cena comes to crash the party, running in and hitting an FU on Big Show, sending a message to Jericho. Edge and Dolph Ziggler have another tense confrontation backstage, setting up their SummerSlam match. John Cena is set to go one-on-one with another giant, the Great Khali. John Cena is able to overcome the large task. Mr. Kennedy confronts his #1 contender, Rey Mysterio, ahead of their match at SummerSlam. John Cena responds to Jericho's taunts, claiming that he will reclaim his World Heavyweight Championship. Big Show and Jericho defeat John Cena and Christian in tag team action. Edge and Ziggler have one final face-off ahead of their SummerSlam contest. Big Show set to go one-on-one with Mr. Kennedy for the United States Championship. No one is safe from the chokeslams, and we've got a new United States Champion. Matt Hardy complaining about his recent treatment. John Cena challenges him to a match, and Matt Hardy regrets it. But Big Show, the new United States Champion, coming out to get a measure of revenge. However, it does not go as planned, as John Cena fights back, turning the tables on the Giant, much to the displeasure of the world champion Chris Jericho. It's time for SummerSlam. With Mr. Kennedy losing his championship, this match has now become a triple threat. Rey Mysterio, Big Show, and Mr. Kennedy for the United States title, and in a dominating performance, Big Show walks away still champion. Dolph Ziggler with a new attitude and a newfound confidence taking on Edge, but Edge shows that he's still got it in this no disqualification match, this highly personal contest. Dolph Ziggler had this match in the bag, but Edge able to persevere and really pull out his bag, sending Ziggler through an announce table, winning the match. John Cena, Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship, this time in a ladder match. It was highly personal, and it wasn't without the interference of Big Show. John Cena would not die. He kept coming back no matter what Chris Jericho threw at him, but eventually Chris Jericho was able to grab the title down and retain his World Heavyweight title. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.